Thanks for joining me today on this video. A couple days ago, actually a few days ago, I got this little pop-up. So let's take a look at this. Before you click Update Fishbowl, we want to take a look at these release notes. So we'll click Release Notes, and it brings us to the Fishbowl website. And first of all, I notice that, let's make this smaller. First of all, I noticed that we skipped a version from 18.10 to 18.12. I think Fishbowl is just calling this by the month. So today's December, and this was released on the 13th, I think it was. Might have been the 12th. Whatever it was. So we take a look at these features, and Fishbowl's got these great links where you can click on the link and it tells you in the wiki what the feature is. So that's awesome. If you don't want to update, you can look at this wiki and see what the feature is to determine, do I need that feature? Or you can watch this video and go on a journey with me to see what the new feature is. So before I go through this, we don't only want to look at what the new feature is, we want to see it in action. So let's go ahead and update Fishbowl. Okay, I just updated. Sorry, I didn't want to film that part. I thought that might be a little boring for this video. So one thing I wanted to say is I said let's update, but what I really meant is I'm going to update. I don't think you should ever be too trigger happy on updating. There are a lot of things to consider before updating, like do you have custom reports or do you have custom integrations? We get phone calls sometimes that says, can you help me? We just updated and now our custom reports don't work. And of course we're happy to help, but I feel awful for those that happens to. So make sure your custom reports or your custom integrations work in the next update before you do it, because look at this. If you scroll down a little bit underneath these awesome features that we're going to look down, if you scroll down, you'll see that Fishbowl announces database changes. So if your custom report or custom integration was built on previous fields in the database, and those fields are on this list, it probably won't work anymore, right? So be careful with that. All right, let's take a look at these new features. This first one says Bill of Material instructions have been updated to allow users to create steps. Interesting. Let's take a look. We'll go to Manufacturing, Bills of Material, and let's look for it. There's an Instructions tab right there. Let's open a Bill of Material, and we have a whole new tab. Pretty awesome. Okay. And probably more importantly, if this is a new feature on the screen, we want to see if this shows on reports, right? So there must be a report that goes along with this. Let's take a look at the wiki, and it'll probably tell us a little bit about this new feature. We can add instructions, default locations, cool. A memo, yeah. Okay, those are ones that are already in there. I want to stay on this instructions tab. URL, save. Let's look for reports. I'm going to go back. I bet you there's a report that goes along with this somewhere. Manufacturer order module always. Add tracking. Add new tracking. Add custom manufacturer order. Let's just look at the standard bill of materials report. We've got a bill of material up, okay. And we'll go to the bill of material. Oh, look at that. BOM instructions. We've got a BOM instructions report. It's blank because I haven't added any instructions. So let's see, what is this? An anchor base, direct labor, a pool cover. Okay, it looks like I'm making a pool cover. And we'll add some instructions. Click add. Step 1. We'll say cut the material. How's that? We can upload an image of the material. I don't think I need to do that, but that would be fun to just upload an image. So we'll go to pictures and I'll just grab something randomly here. Yay, all right. Click save and let's look at that. All right, we have a BOM instructions tab. Cool, cool. New schedule tab on work order. Okay, so the highlight was that instructions tab. I thought it was pretty cool. I'm really excited actually for all of the new manufacturing related features. Fishbowl has been kicking out these manufacturing related features for years, but this past year it seems like almost all the updates have a manufacturing related feature. The scheduling features, the category features, and now we have a new instructions tab. So if you're a manufacturer, guys, consider Fishbowl. And also consider updating, of course, if you already own Fishbowl, right? So let's look at new schedule tab on work order. So the wiki says the schedule tab. Oh, there it is, right there. Let's take a look on the work order. So you need a work order. We'll go to manufacturing, manufacturer order, double click. I've got a work order here, and now I've got a schedule tab. Oh my gosh, this is giving me the chills. Look at this. Schedule start, schedule finish. All of you that have been waiting for this feature, oh, this is your birthday. Schedule start and schedule finish. Now previously, Fishbowl has had this start and end date on the calendar. If we go to this calendar here, you'll see that the work order has a start and end date, and you can click edit and there's a start and end date on the calendar, but it wasn't on the manufacturer order screen. So there was a little bit of back and forth, so this is much more user friendly, and this is exciting because those of you that work with me know that I'm big on the scheduling in Fishbowl. I think it's a shame that so many people have missed that Fishbowl can help you plan and schedule. The sales order screen has a fulfillment date. The purchase order screen has a fulfillment date. The work order screen for the longest time has had a start date, and then Fishbowl has a forecast report that shows you if the material purchased is going to make it in time for the start date of the work order, or if the work order completion is going to make it in time for the pick date of the sales order, right? Material planning, y'all. Fishbowl has not always been an MRP, but the MRP features are rolling out, and they are coming more and more and more every year. And Fishbowl is becoming more and more of an MRP system. So pretty cool, pretty exciting to have a start and end date. So let's take a look at this work order and play with this, shall we? So today is 12/15/2018. So in order to see this, let's say we're going to start this work order on the 18th, and check this out. It even has a time. Those of you that have work orders that take hours rather than days, this is going to help you. And we'll have a start time of, whoops, I didn't click on it. We'll click on 18th, click OK. Oh, we're not going to start something at 11:30 p.m. We're going to start it at, let's say 8. Oh, look at that. I'm trying to type in and it's not letting me type in. You've got to use the arrows. So we're not going to start it at 1:30 a.m. We're going to start it at, say, 8:30 a.m. That's better. Okay. And then 12:18. I'm sure the end date has to be after the start time. Let's say this takes till 1 p.m. Okay, so we've got work order number 11001 that should show up on the calendar now. I'll save that and it'll show up on the 18th. If we go to the calendar, we'll say work order, oh, it doesn't have a category. The status is issued, so we can filter the category on the calendar for issued work orders, but we don't have it assigned to any specific category. So an issued manufacturer order is an entered work order. Okay, so let's go to the calendar and we'll say, let's look at this week. It's an 18th, so let's go to the next week and check that out. There's our work order. Before we had to go to the calendar to do that. So, man, I think, in my opinion, that little new feature right there is a game changer for some of my customers. And it might be for you. And in my opinion, I think this feature should be a highlight, not just a feature. So let's look at this next one. Look, work order, manufacture, manufacture, manufacture. We got a lot of manufacturing work order related features. Kudos to Fishbowl. Manufacture order module option to always us the multiple, oh, probably a misprint. Manufacturer order module option to always use the multiple finish good step on work order finish. Okay, so this is a module option. Okay, that's what this is, and it's a manufacturer module option. Here's a little module option screen. I'll show you how to get to that. We'll go back to the Fishbowl client and we'll go to the manufacturer order screen, and then we can get to the manufacturer order module options. You have to be on the correct screen to get to the correct module options. So we'll click there and it says we have a new module option. What was it? It was module option to allow us the multiple finish good step on work order finish. Allow use the multiple finish good step. Okay, so I imagine to use this step you have to have multiple finished goods in your work order. Now this is a very rare thing, so I can see why this would not be a highlight. For some of you this may be a game changer and the coolest feature in the world. For some of you this may be, I don't have multiple finished goods on my work order, right? So for an example, I bet you're wondering, well, when would I have multiple finished goods on a work order? I did a project one time where they extruded foam, and we looked at a lot of different ways to track the scrap. And in the plastic industry, when they're extruding foam, the scrap can be reused, so they actually inventory the scrap. So in their work order, they had two finished goods. One, the foam that they were going to use that was extruded, and two, the scrap. So that's one example. Another example is like, let's say you're making tar or some sort of glue, and you have two finished goods. One would be a bucket of glue, and the other one would be tubes of glue. So you'll create all the buckets, and then from the leftover glue or tar, you would put in the tubes. So kind of a neat example. I think I'll skip the visual. I'll let you play with that. My only word of advice is to update Fishbowl in a sandbox environment and look at the feature, see if it's something you need before you update your live file. Or if you want to play with Fishbowl and see how a new feature works, it's so much easier if you just copy Fishbowl, copy your live file, restore it in a separate file. I've got another video that shows you how to create a sandbox environment. You can watch that and create a parallel environment. So you're running two files. Okay, let's look at the next feature. Manufacture order module option, cool. Adding tracking on multiple finished goods steps, okay, shows text instead of blank. Tooltip also shows tracking information. Okay, so gosh, there's two features on the finished good. Adding a new finished good can be completed on the finished good step. I think we need to take a look at this new finished good step. So forget what I just said and let's take a look at finishing out a work order, and I'll create a work order that has two finished goods on it so we can see this. Okay, we'll come over here and I already have this custom work order that I created from a sales order. Let's see what Fishbowl lets us do here. I'm going to go to the work order, and this is fun. Some of you may wonder, can Fishbowl allow you to edit a work order after it's been issued? Check it out, y'all. The color's in, green plus sign, finished good. We can add a finished good. And let's see, what are we going to create? What are we creating already? It's a custom pool cover. Okay, custom pool cover. I wonder what the other finished good would be with a custom pool cover. We'll just say maybe we have some spare parts that go along with it. You know how you buy things and they have like this little bag of spare parts, and maybe that's an option that they can get. So let's do that. It's not going to be a bag. I'm just going to say adhesive anchor. What the heck, right? What the heck? I'll just make it an adhesive anchor. Create, this is the language of the finished good. Create adhesive anchor. It defaulted to the item description. Now, actually, add another bill of material item. No, the part number is already going to be there. Actually, yeah, if I put the part number there, that's going to be silly. Create, yeah, it's already there. So, well, let's see what happens. Adhesive anchor. Finish. Okay, so black means finished good. This outline is the raw goods. You can tell by the logo. Now we can move this up if we'd like by using these black arrows if we want it up there. Save. Now let's go through the finish wizard of this manufacturer order. We'll click finish, and the first thing it wants us to do is pick. Looks like I've been playing around with this and it's been picked. We'll just skip through the picking step. We want to see this new feature, right? So I'll try not to get distracted by all these other things that are popping up that we usually should pay attention to if we're live. But let's just keep going. Okay, here we go. Here's the finished goods screen, and it's got this tracking tab. Now I didn't have parts that are tracked by lot number or serial number, but if you do, this tracking tab will play a part in what you're doing. But let's take a look at what this new feature is. It says manufacturer order option to always use the multiple finished goods step. Always use the multiple finished goods step. Okay, I can see why. I can see why you would want this option now, because having an additional finished good may be a total option. It may not have been in the original plan. So let me cancel this and unissue. Oh, it's been picked. I gotta go void the pick. Okay, void the pick. Go back to the work order. Come on. There we go. Come on, Fishbowl. Okay. Delete that. Exit that. All right. So now that we don't have two finished goods, that finished goods step probably that multiple finished good step probably shouldn't show up, right? So if I go to Tools, Module Options, and I don't have it checked, let's take a look. Let's finish this. Okay, skip through picking. Everything's picked. We'll skip this step. And look at this. Here's what it looks like without the multiple finished goods step. So having multiple finished goods could be optional. Now let's cancel out of that. Go to Tools, Module Options, Always Allow. Click OK. We may want to refresh, and we may have to close the screen and get back in. I'm just going to do it because I'm pretty sure we have to do it. So I'll close the screen, go back into manufacturer order. Hopefully we don't have to log out and log back in for that module option to take effect, but we might. So now let's see. It's on. Okay, and we'll go to Finish. Click Next and Next, and look at that. We only have one finished good, but it's opening up the multiple finished good step. Ding, ding, ding. So think about how you're going to use this feature. This is pretty cool. This kind of has my wheels turning too with some of the projects I've worked on and some of the projects I work on. Sometimes after doing this video, I send out an email to some of my customers and say, guess what feature just came? And it's exciting, or it's a game changer, right? So interesting. Date started, date finished can be edited after the fact. So Fishbowl's really looking at this date started and date finished, and that's good for planning and reporting. Say, well, this is when we intended to start, this is when we intended to finish, this is when we actually started, this is when we actually finished. So any data that's in there, we can build a report on to see how your performance is. Are you doing things according to plan? Are your work orders taking longer than we originally intended? Or are we getting it done faster, right? We need to know that so we can plan better and schedule things better. So big kudos to Fishbowl on that. That's an awesome feature. Let's come back and take a look at this. Add tracking on multiple finished good steps. Shows text instead of just, I don't know, blank field. Tooltip allow also shows tracking information. So add finished good step, that's here. Okay, and let's see what it says on multiple finished good step. All right, so we're looking at the multiple finished good step. It says something about tracking. And really, to show this, I need a part that tracks a lot number. Let me push pause for a second, find one, and come back. Okay, I found a part that's tracked by lot number, so I'm going to add that here. Click Add. It says select the finished good part, and it is an AN-12 anchor red cap. Click OK. And ooh, it's saying, hey guys, look at this. This is tracked by lot, and we're creating it, so you need to put in a lot number. We'll click OK, and cool. Awesome. All right, let's look at the next feature. Adding a new finished good can be completed on the finished good step, and we just saw that. So really, all these tiny little new features, they should have put this all together and say, guys, we've got a new feature that allows you to add a new finished good. This on the fly. We didn't plan on having two finished goods at the end, but we have one. And that's the kind of software programming we want, right? Something that is flexible, that sort of bends with all of the unplanned things that happen. We saw that I'll finish this here. Well, maybe I won't. We saw that when I edited the work order was already issued. That's a big deal, right? We want to be able to issue and edit and have that flexibility and not be locked into anything. So awesome. Kudos to Fishbowl for making this flexible and allowing us to record whatever happens. So, okay, So when we finish the work order, all right, we're on to finishing the work order. The finished good needs a location. Fishbowl wants to know, where is it going to be put when we're done? I think it's best practice to leave it in manufacturing and let someone else move it or put it away. Now, that might not be the best practice for your specific company though, right? So I'm just talking about general best practice. My first knee-jerk reaction says, I think for most people, the best thing to do is to just put it where it's done, right? Those who are completing the work order and recording it may not know, or it, may not have a place for it. So let's look for a location. Oh, this is interesting. So this part is not giving us a location. This part is probably a service type item or a non-inventory type item. Did you know you can manufacture something that is non-inventory or service? Think about that, especially like those of you that install things like solar panels and whatnot. You could make the finished good a service, and it won't end up on your balance sheet. So I think that's what's going on with this part. This is a custom work order, so I may have made it a non-inventory or service type item. So, and that's cool. Look what I just clicked right there. I was wondering what that was, so I clicked on it, and boom, it created another one. It's like a little duplicate button. I bet if I have this highlighted and click on it, ooh, that's kind of cool. I bet that's a feature over here that we're going to find out. Adding a custom work order, not ask for raw goods, manufacture order, work order details, manufacture materials. Yeah, I don't know if they bragged about that or not. I don't think that was there before, but that's kind of neat if you want to separate it, right? Say you have multiple lot numbers. We just put lot number 1, 2, 3 in there. Maybe you created 2 different lot numbers. I don't know. I don't think that's very realistic because usually the lot number is related to the batch, but there's always some reason to use it. Okay, before I leave this, I'm going to look and see if there's more features that they are bragging about here. Add a custom manufacture order. Now ask for raw and finished goods in the order creation wizard. Ah, yes. Let's go ahead and take a look at this. We'll finish out this one. So finish. Okay, that's done. Now let me talk about this one. It says adding a custom work order. Now if you add a custom work order on the sales order, it asks you to add the raw and finished good. But for whatever reason, probably because it wasn't on high demand, adding a custom work order, which goes from this green plus sign, custom, right here, adding the custom work order didn't have these 2 steps in the previous version. Kind of interesting, and I always wondered why, and I think it's probably because most people that create custom work orders create the custom work order from the sales order. So this feature probably wasn't in high demand, but if this is in high demand for you, there you go. If you're creating custom work orders from the manufacturer order, it now has these steps more completed like they are on the sales order. Okay, let's go to the next one. Adding a custom manufacturer order now asks for, okay, well, we just did that one. And manufacturer order, work order details tab is not visible when empty orders must be issued before it displays data. Now, sometimes it's really hard to wrap your head around what the heck are these guys talking about without actually clicking on it and looking at it. So let's go click on it and look at it. Work order details tab. So let's first pull up a manufacturer order with a work order. The work order details tab is right here. So let's go there, and it says is not visible when empty. Oh, I know what it's talking about. Okay, so the work orders details tab doesn't have data unless you've issued the manufacturer order. I don't know if you've ever noticed this. So I can see why this is just kind of a minor detail to make your use of Fishbowl easier um, and more intuitive, right? It's always nice to have the software lead you to the correct place. So in order to show you this, I need to probably void this pick and then come back and unissue. We've got configuration. Now, if your work order is not a custom work order, then you're going to have a materials tab instead of a configuration tab. Okay, let me show you that. For those of you that don't do custom work orders, let's just add a bill of material. I do have a bill of material here. I'll click issue and oh, wait a minute. That's different. That used to say materials. I wonder if they mentioned that. I wonder if they mentioned, oh, look at that. There it is. Manufacturer order materials tab has been renamed to configuration. Okay, all right, we're following. So don't let that throw you. The materials tab is now called configuration. So let's unissue this and look at that. Watch what happens right here when I unissue, or excuse me, when I issue. Okay, so really, I like this feature because it makes the screen intuitive. It's probably not a big deal for you that have been using Fishbowl forever because you figured it out, but for those of you that are just learning to use this screen, this is a nice little thing because before there was a tab here that said details. You would click on it and the whole screen was blank, and it just caused a little bit of frustration. And so awesome kudos for developers for making our lives easier and making our experience of using Fishbowl more enjoyable. So yeah, that's a nice little touch. Nice little touch there. Okay, so these two are done. CSV import export. All right. So look at, I just want to pause for a minute and say, look at all these new features that are related to manufacturers. So I would just say if you're a manufacturer and you do manufacturing, you're going to want to consider updating to version 12. But don't do it without testing your custom reports and your custom integrations. So, all right, so it looks like we're moving on, and they've got a list of CSV import and export related features. Awesome. Now, this is a personal favorite of mine because I help customers set up, or I help new Fishbowl users set up Fishbowl for the first time, and that's a lot of CSV importing work, a lot of spreadsheet data. So I'm excited about this. I don't know if you are, if you're already using Fishbowl, this might be, who cares? But let's take a look, especially for those of you that are just starting to use Fishbowl. So before I get click happy, let me read it. CSV import export search now allows for partial name search and abbreviations. Oh, I know what this feature is. This is cool. Okay, so we'll go to File, Import or Export. It doesn't matter. Right here, you can just start typing the, you know, look, I'm just typing. I'm just going to type V, and you see the screen change, and it pulls up everything with a V in it. Now, previously, it pulled up everything that began with a V. Now, it's searching inside as well. So they've enhanced, they've improved the searching. Just made that step more user friendly. So awesome. I love this because they're starting to make more features that help Fishbowl users who are just setting up Fishbowl. I remember for years and years back, they just completely ignored, almost completely ignored. That's an exaggeration, but their enhancement, their efforts were really not focused. It really got neglected quite a bit. Setting up the features that involved getting Fishbowl going, getting it set up, getting the data in there was a chore. And so we want that to be easier. Bringing data in and out of Fishbowl with CSV, that's awesome. And it usually applies to the API and integrations and making integrations easier. So, okay, next one. Shipping data CSV now includes the carrier service. Ah, yes. Oh, I feel like I'm listened to. Fishbowl listened to us and they gave us what we wished for. Oh, this is awesome. For those of you who are like, Lance, you're a total geek. What on earth are you talking about? Let me show you. If we come here to, let me cancel out of that. If we come here to, let's say, sales order, and just pull up a sales order, you'll see that there's a field here that says carrier, and there's a field here that says service. So this service field is kind of new. It came out a few years ago, and then Fishbowl has been building around it more and more. And that's usually what happens. A new field will come out, and then Fishbowl will add the features and the functions around the field, and then they'll start including that field in the reports, and then they'll start including that field in the import and export spreadsheets. That's kind of the life of a new feature. It just kind of grows. And I like how they do it that way because it gives them the ability to test and make sure that the software is bug free, right? Nobody likes bugs. And I've noticed that over the years, the bugs have become smaller and smaller and smaller. So way to go, testing department. So this said, however, shipping data CSV. So the shipping data CSV import, let's go to shipping data. This is the CSV that helps with integrations with shipping software. All right. I've noticed that there's quite a tie to the Fishbowl API and these import-export documents. It seems like if it's not on this import-export document, then it's not in the API. So here we go. We've got carrier service ship date. It says use the instructions below to prepare. If you import this guy, perform the importing, it will handle scenarios where the user can scan a packing list number, signaling the UPS has arrived to pick up the boxes and they are now going out the door. The packed ship record is then marked as shipped. It is assumed that the correct carrier is there to pick these up. Okay, so if you import this, ship number, date, carrier service, then it's shipped. So you can record a mass number of items have been shipped by using this import. Way cool. And now it's even cooler. They finally added this, the carrier service. So that's no longer blank and what the service was. So for example, a carrier is like UPS, FedEx, USPS, right? The service is 2-day ground, next day air, premium, whatever the service is for that specific carrier. They all have similar things. So awesome. I remember a project where this was blocking what we were doing. And it was sad because the integration that we were building and the flow of the data in and out of Fishbowl just like made this step, made the integration extremely difficult. And we had to think, well, maybe we should bypass the API. Oh, we don't want to do that because that'll void void the support contract and the maintenance agreement you have with Fishbowl if you ever have to do database fixes. I mean, we want to try to use the API as much as possible. So awesome. Okay, so the carrier, I know you think, what do you do, Lance? But in the developer's world, these little things are like a game changer. They make or break the project, you know, that one little thing. So thanks for making dreams possible, Fishbowl. This next one, CSV import export for bills of material, now include a single header format. Oh my gosh. That is huge. Huge. Holy cow. So oh my gosh, that's huge for me anyways. For years, I've actually helped people import and export, well, specifically import bills of material in Fishbowl, and we've created an access tool where it has a header and line, and then my magical access tool would take the header and line. Let me show you here. Take the header and line, and let me push pause and show you. Okay, so previously this is what I had to do with customers who had bills of material that were very similar, and we needed to get, you know, hundreds or 1,000 bills of material into Fishbowl. This is what we had to do. We had to say, okay, what are the raw goods? What are the finished goods? We had to create queries in Access. So here's a finished good query. Here's a raw good query. And then there's even a finished good, raw good query that sort of is a union all query that brings the finished goods and the raw goods together. And then there was a header query we had over here. There it is. Okay. And they were like, they're all separate. Also, we could cater and surrender to the Fishbowl's requirement of the bills of material import. You know, it was like this header format. Let me show you the format. So, and then we had to create this tool, this like programming tool that said, okay, select the header and, well, just a minute, I've got to select the right one. Select, can't find it. There it is. Select the header, select the item, browse to where I want to put it. I'll just throw it on the desktop, and yep, no, okay. And then click that and look at what it's doing in the background. It's like creating this header item format that was previously required by Fishbowl. So this is huge for those of you that are just setting up Fishbowl. I think Fishbowl just made your life a lot easier. It made it easier to import bills of material. This will probably make the integration with SolidWorks easier, maybe, because you don't need this format. I don't know. I'm just thinking of all the new applications this may apply. Any sort of integration you want to have with like a CAD program or something if you need to get these bills of material in here. So what you're seeing is my special tool that we created in Access that is building bills of material to go into Fishbowl. You know, don't know how long it's going to take. I'll push pause and let it finish and come back. Okay, it's finally done, and take a look at this. I'll delete this first row. That was just so we could make sure they all came together. So this is what that magical tool created. But here's the format that Fishbowl requires is we have two headers, the BOM header and the item header. Okay, or the item line, so the BOM is the header, but it's just really complex, right? So let's look at what the new format is. Let's see if I have any bombs in this. I have one bomb. Okay, that's not going to be, we're not going to see anything extremely cool, but let's take a look. Export, bills of material detail, bills of material instructions. Whoa, we can import instructions. Oh, that's cool. That's probably going to be one of the other features. Okay, in that new instructions tab. So we'll just put this to, I'll just throw it on the desktop. Fishbowl has this new little feature. Okay, the bomb. Okay, it's just going to select all bombs. All right, finish. And would you like to open the new file? Those of you that are on a much older version don't have this feature. This is a cool feature where it says, hey, you want to just open it instead of go look for it? Okay, it opened over here. Whoa, this is interesting. Bomb number, step name, step description, step details. Did I accidentally export the bomb instructions? I thought I exported the bomb. Let me try that again. We'll go to File, Export, Bills of Material, next, finish. Yes, let's open that. And yeah, okay, sorry about that. I exported the bomb instructions. Here we go. All right, so maybe I misunderstood this new feature because I'm still seeing the header line format. Let's look here. What is this? Let's pull this back up. For bills of material, now include a single header format called it's called bill of materials details. Okay, so it has a different name. So the old one is still in there. Good. That hasn't changed because that could actually break some things, actually, maybe. So let's do export bill of materials details. So I bet there's another blurb over here about this one. Let's look and see there. Oh, my light just went out. I'm running out of batteries. Instructions. Yep. So we just looked at that, didn't we? So bill of material details, bill of material instructions are now new import exports. So we'll say, yeah, let's go ahead and export that. And yes, I want to open it and look at it. And interesting. Let's look at this. So it's got one header. Look at the difference. This one has like flag, bomb, item. This has one header. And it still has 3 lines because it needs to put in, okay, interesting. Still needs to put in 3 things. It needs to put in the header and each raw good in the bill of material, right? So the bill of material has 2 raw goods and a finished good. So we still need that. And it says finished goods, raw goods. And actually, that's really all you need. It's really all you need. I always thought that the finished good line was a repeat of the bomb line. If we come to the old way, notice we've got the finished good and its part number, and then the bomb and its part number. So way to go, Fishbowl, on making this easier. That makes me think of different ways that we can use that. And then way to go on these instructions, importing, exporting instructions. So holy cow, I said that these CSV imports are just CSV related, but almost every new feature on here is manufacturing related. So if you're in the manufacturing world, this is a great thing. I mean, you're going to be happy about this. Almost every feature is manufacturing related in this update to 18.2. Excuse me, I meant 18.12. So, okay, and all of these are probably well mentioning. Look at all of the bug fixes. We love bug fixes, and look at how many bug fixes are in CSV import and exports. So that's exciting. I always love to see all of the bug fixes. Oh, a lot in reporting and the schedule modules. So way to go, Fishbowl, for making the software great. Remember to test your custom reports and your custom integrations before updating.